Coming to you from the TheEoNProject studios, overlooking the vast, pristine acreage of Primrose Village. Greetings from this hidden gem of the Blackstone Valley. You're listening to Experts of Nothing with Mike and Jay. Oh, hello.
Hello there.
Hi, my friend.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Hello, my friend.
You know, it's been quite a while since I've got to look you in the face.
Well, yes. And we had a few storms.
We had some storms. We
Very
had some
big
trips.
Storms, trips, illnesses.
All kinds of various things.
Trips to jail.
Yep. I got out of jail this morning, actually.
How was it?
You know, it wasn't too bad. It was warm. You know, they gave me some food.
Yeah. It was warm.
I had my own room. It was quiet.
You know, if you're a homeless person in a cold climate,
Yep.
Jail's probably not that bad for you.
Probably not. You'd
you
be surprised how many homeless people live out in the cold.
Well, you know, if I was a homeless person, I'd move to like Miami or Key West. Just start walking south. What else you got to do? You don't got to be at a
why
job.
not? Grow your beard long.
Yeah.
Hang out in jams all
Why don't
day.
you walk down there? Jams. Remember jams?
Jams were cool. Y'all remember jams?
Well, we had a couple weeks off.
Yep.
Since our last show.
Few weeks, you know, a few things going on.
But this week we're back and better than ever with a whole smorgasbord of things.
All kinds of things to talk about.
Yep. Should we tease the main topic of the day?
Let's tease it. Tease it to the max.
Today's topic, we're going to talk about cryptozoology, which is obviously a very popular topic amongst shows of our ilk.
That's right.
We're going to talk a little bit different things that you may or may not have heard of in the past.
That's correct. And unbeknownst to Mike, we have a trivia contest for him. Unbeknownst to you, because you always embarrass me.
Yes. No, you did well the last time. You did Alive or Dead. You know what it is? Alive or Dead. You have an idiot savant tendency.
Yeah.
And you know if people are alive or dead.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a surprise trivia.
I have one for you.
Oh, okay.
Right now,
Yeah.
just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Rip Torn.
Rip Torn is still alive.
Still alive.
That's right. I loved him in Beastmaster. He was creepy.
Rip Torn. It has a very distinctive voice
and a name.
Yeah.
So we have a new sponsor for the program.
We have a new sponsor. Well, yes. Well, we have two new sponsors, don't we?
We do. One has a commercial today. One has a produced commercial.
One of them actually sent us a sampling of their wares.
That's right, which we're going to sample after the break, which will be the commercial break.
After the commercial break, so we have two sponsors today.
Right, so the first sponsor is Chauncey's Chili Bowl. Ooh. Out of LaForge Parish, Louisiana.
Oh, what the?
And who's the other sponsor?
Who dat?
Yep.
Our second sponsor is Addicted Rum Balls.
Ooh.
Well, they're not really a sponsor yet. But we're going to talk about them because they were kind enough to send us their wares.
And they gave us little things with rum in them? Or whiskey or some sort
of
alcoholic beverage?
We're going to talk about that later.
All right, so I went on a trip. I went to Florida. I went to the great Disney World, right?
Disney World.
So I just have to say this quickly, just to get this...
The happiest place on earth.
Yeah, well, it's not so happy. But anyway, so, one thing that I noticed, Disney World is unlike any other experience that you may ever... partake in your entire life.
Let me just tell you, I love Disney World. Love it.
You love it, but do you really get into it like some adult people do? So I've never seen this phenomenon before.
Yeah, there's some weirdos.
Normal, everyday adults that go about their lives. They have jobs, steady jobs. They own houses. They, they have children and they take care of the children. They get to Disney World and they act like complete fools.
They become
idiots.
I agree.
Right? So I've never seen this before. It's strange. So we get on the bus, the magical bus.
Oh, you're on a magic bus.
That takes you from the airport.
You're talking about a real magical bus, not the magical bus from LSD trips in the past.
Not like a Beatles magical bus.
No.
But anyway, so we get on the bus, and the first thing I see is two mid-30s-ish man and woman, married couple, no kids, sitting there.
How did I know?
With handmade, hand-stitched Mickey Mouse hat, the round beanie hat with the ears on it.
Yes.
With their names embroidered in it.
You mean like like a 5-year-old would normally
Exactly,
have.
yes. And T-shirts to match. And they're laughing and they're just high-fiving. And on the bus, hold on, quickly.
I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
Yeah, no. So on the bus, they have like a little TV that plays like, Disney cartoons and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they're playing like Disney old-school cartoons. And the man he couldn't stop staring at the little screen, and he was laughing out loud hysterically with his Mickey Mouse hat on.
Well, he was in Nirvana, as we discussed in a previous episode.
I don't know. It's just I thought it was odd. I mean, you can go there and enjoy yourself. And
you know what I like about Disney? It's clean. It's organized. Usually, you have a good time, and it's a largely stress-free for me. I mean, I know that people they freak out when they have to. The only time I stress out is towards the end of the night when the fireworks come, because you want to get to your car before 17,000 people exit the park at the same time.
That's right, and they have human actual human princesses that wander around.
Yeah, you know what? You want to hear a funny story
And
real
if you're
quick?
lucky enough, you can touch them.
So a few years ago, we went there, and they have those meet and greets with the princesses, as you just stated. So very famously within my family,
Yep.
we're all waiting to meet. They had them all on a row. There's like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, and the last one was Rapunzel, who I happen to enjoy.
Was it the long-haired or the short-haired Rapunzel?
Long-haired Rapunzel.
Ah, gotcha.
I enjoy long-haired Rapunzel.
Yep.
I think she's a very beautiful woman.
You let her choke you out with her long hair.
I would like that, but no. So she's waiting, and my kids, they go up and they hug her and everything.
Yeah.
And then she looks at me, and I go, "Bring one in for me."
Oh.
And I put my arms out as if to hug.
And she called the authorities.
She went and backed away. I did not get a Rapunzel hug
That's too bad.
for some reason, but she probably did call the
I
authorities.
can't imagine why she wouldn't give you a hug.
I probably had the Disney secret police following me the rest of the day. Anyway,
Hey, do you see what I'm drinking here?
I do see that. Yeah, it's iced coffee.
It is an iced coffee, and I'm not you know me not to be normally a coffee drinker.
You're not a coffee drinker.
But I worked 72 straight hours, so I needed some caffeine this morning.
Okay.
And you know what I noticed at the local Dunky Dunks
What's that?
was this. Okay, so I like Girl Scout cookies, right?
Yes.
They have Girl Scout flavored cookie flavored iced coffee. This is the coconut caramel.
Is it good?
Also known as the Samoa.
The Samoas or
Oh
Tagalogs.
my God, it's liquid pleasure. Let's just put it that way.
Liquid
Oh, it's
pleasure.
delicious.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the Girl Scouts. My kids are involved in Girl Scouts. My wife is involved in Girl Scouts. I have too many Girl Scout cookies to shake a stick at.
Yes. So if you have any extra caramel delight, send them my way, please.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So we had a few weeks off. We're going to get into another topic now, right? We're going to get into it now, or do you have something else to discuss?
Well, just quickly, you want to let the audience know that you're not going to be around for a little while?
Oh, yeah.
or-
So there's going to be a slight hiatus for me for the mic portion of the show.
That's right.
Just for about maybe 2 weeks. I'm having a medical procedure done, hopefully to cure my insanity. And then I'll be back to normal.
Yep.
Within a couple of weeks.
So in the meantime, I may put some shows up with myself and maybe
that would
others.
be horrible. You should get a guest host in here.
I'll get a guest host in, and
Maybe
who
Jimmy
knows-
Kimmel is available.
who
I don't
knows
like.
what we'll talk about.
Do you know that I don't like Jimmy Kimmel?
Nah, he's a hypocrite.
I don't like Jimmy Kimmel. Let's just say that for the record.
Elitist hypocrites.
Yes.
Anyway.
Who started off watching girls on trampolines for his show?
Called the Juggies. Remember that?
I do remember that.
Now he's Mr. Woman's
Now he's
Right.
Mr. Integrity.
Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about cryptozoology, and it's not something you catch on your feet.
That does sound. I got a bad case of the crypto on my left
So
foot.
if you're listening to this program, you probably know what this term already is, but I'll define it for you here.
Why
in a
don't you
second.
define it?
So some of the creatures that we're going to be talking about, a lot of them you've heard, some of them you may not have heard of.
Well, what's cryptozoology?
Okay, so
You didn't even say what it
cryptozoology,
was.
I'll tell you what it is. It's basically defined literally as the study of hidden animals. And it was coined by the late Scottish explorer and adventurer Ivan T. Sanderson.
Oh, Ivan, what's he doing
right.
these days?
That was a long time ago. But anyway, the animals studied in cryptozoology are often referred to as cryptids, and that was a term coined by John Wall, and that was in 1983. So,
Recently.
So mysterious creatures of the unknown.
Yes.
That we don't have actual hard evidence of yet.
No.
But they're known as cryptids.
And actually, we've had some personal firsthand experience with, let's say, devoted researchers of cryptozoology who we'll talk about probably in a little bit.
Oh.
When you get to the portion that I think you're going to get to, we'll talk about it.
Okay, so a lot of the creatures that we're going to talk about are considered legendary or non-existent, by the mainstream science and mainstream biology. But it's important to note that throughout history, of course, there have been many examples of creatures that no one believed existed until they turned up.
That's correct.
I'm sure you probably know a little bit about some of those.
I do.
Yeah. Why don't you give an example?
Oh, well, I think we mentioned it even once on the show before. The coelacanth was a fish that was supposedly extinct 30 million years ago or such.
That's correct.
And it was actually, one was found alive in, I think it was the 1920s, correct?
20s or 30s, something like
Something
that.
like
yeah.
that. So
yeah.
tens of millions of years after it's supposed to be gone, it's actually still there.
Here's an even more interesting one, and that is the mountain gorilla, which was thought to be a legend up until it was confirmed in 1902 when they finally discovered one. Oh. And then now obviously we know that the gorilla exists.
We do know that gorillas exist. They're kind of scary.
That's right.
A gorilla could rip you in half.
So basically, like we've talked about many times before, there are many things out there that we don't fully comprehend or fully understand.
That's right.
So it's important to keep an open mind to a lot, with a lot of these things. So we're here to shed some light on this stuff.
Shed it.
That's
Shed
right.
the light. Do it now.
Okay. So one of the most famous cryptids of all time that you have heard of, I'm sure, is Bigfoot.
Oh, big feet, yes.
Big feet. So would you say if you had many Bigfoots, would they be Bigfoots or Big Feets?
I don't know, but I dated one once. She was a looker. She had big feet.
Really? Mm-hmm. Did she have heavy legs?
She had heavy legs.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Bigfoot first. also known as Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
And the term Sasquatch actually literally means hairy man. And it's derived from a local Native American language called Helcomilim.
Is that how you say
It's in British Columbia. That's near Vancouver, if you know where
They
Vancouver
play hockey
is.
there.
Of course. Yeah. Who likes hockey?
Not me. I used to like hockey a lot.
You don't like it anymore?
It's not that I don't like it. I don't know. I'm just not.
I don't know, man. The Bruins are tearing it up right now.
Not as into it as I used to be.
You got to get into it, my friend. Yeah. So anyway, we all know the Bigfoot is an ape-like creature, and it was mainly spotted and inhabiting the forests of the Pacific Northwest, which, if you've ever been to the Pacific Northwest, which I know some of the listeners live out that way.
As a matter of fact, we have some devoted listeners up in the Pacific Northwest.
That's right. And if if you live out there and you've had a Bigfoot experience, or if anybody's had any kind of hairy bipedal creature experience, give us a call, let us know, send us an email.
I've had some hairy bipedal experiences.
TheEoNProject at yahoo.com. So sightings of the Bigfoot have taken place pretty much in almost every state in the country,
including Rhode Island,
parts of Canada. Rhode Island most recently,
yeah,
by a couple of intrepid drunken investigators, apparently. And they range in height. I'm going to describe a little bit physically. So they range in height from 6 to 10 feet. They can weigh in excess of 500 pounds, estimated by some of the the footage.
It's pretty big.
Like what do they call it? Mysterious footage of
like
these
the found
creatures.
footage.
Yeah, exactly. So they've been spotted at local flea markets. So just be forewarned.
Wandering around.
That's right.
Looking for combs.
Yep. So they have dark brown or reddish fur, as described in the by the eyewitnesses. And the Bigfoot is also said to be followed by a very strong foul smell.
Again, all experiences I've had dating.
That's right. And as you've had at the local flea market as well.
At the local flea market.
That's right.
You ever been to when I was a kid, we used to go to flea markets all the time. It was a place to, purchase used goods for very low prices. But if you've been in the last, decade or so, it's not like that anymore. The people there are really strange.
Here's the thing. When I was in Florida, there's a flea market in the area where I was. It's called the Big Red Barn.
Okay.
And it's literally a gigantic red barn.
As per the title.
And it's an indoor, and they have a farmer's market, but they sell just anything you can think of.
Anything.
They sell it in
Chinchillas.
Anything.
Zebras.
Anything. Some stuff new, some old, some right out of the dumpster. Doesn't matter what it is, they
Barry
sell
Manilow tapes.
But it's pretty cool to walk around and you can get some good stuff cheap.
No, there used to be a store called Building 19 that was their motto. Remember that? Building 19?
What's that?
Good stuff cheap.
Oh, I thought I just made that up.
No, you stole that.
So the Bigfoot is known for his big feet, up to 24 inches in some cases.
That's big.
When they've found, impressions in the mud and such. It's important to note that most cultures throughout the world, they tell stories of a large ape-like creature. So you have to wonder why.
That's right. The same story gets passed along.
That's right. That common thread that weaves its way through many a culture across the world.
Yes.
Now,
okay,
you decide. What do you think about the Bigfoot?
What do I think? I think as you just intimated, I think that there's so many stories floating around that there has to be something to it. Now, whether it's a misidentification of an existing animal that we are aware of, or if it's a new species that we haven't been exposed to, I think that there's something there. I don't think that people are just making it up. Right. I think that they literally think that they saw something.
Yeah,
and maybe they did. I don't know.
So the modern Bigfoot phenomenon goes back to 1958 when a gentleman by the name of Gerald Crew found some large footprints in Humboldt County, California, and that's where the origin of the term Bigfoot came from, when he found these big feet prints.
Okay,
but I think the most famous sighting of them all would be the Patterson-Gimlin film.
Yes, that's the film where the supposed Bigfoot is caught on a camera that is striding along a riverbank.
That's right.
Yeah, very famous film.
That's right.
And you've seen the film.
Yes.
What do you think of the film?
Well, let's talk a little bit about the film
I'm sorry.
first, and I'll give you my opinion. So the most famous, as I said, of these is by Robert Patterson and Robert Gimlin, two Bobs. Bob and Bob.
The Bobs.
And they made this film on October 20th, 1967. And they were friends and business partners, but believe it or not, they were interested. This is why it's weird to me, is that were interested in making a Bigfoot documentary.
Oh, and they just happened to catch it.
Right, so they went out that day with the camera into the forests of Northern California. They were on horseback when they spotted the creature. So they were, horseback,
there it is,
going around, checking out.
Brokeback Mountain.
Had their little 16mm camera going, and they filmed the creature for about 53 seconds. Yeah. And if you can go up, obviously you can see it anywhere online.
Sure.
And it shows the creature kind of walking away from them.
Yes,
and
but it's looking at them,
It turns and it looks back towards them.
Right.
In my opinion, now do I believe that there are mysterious hominid bipedal creatures out there in the wilderness that we don't know about? Sure, I can believe in that.
Sure.
To me, this film was hoaxed from the very beginning.
Okay.
And it's anomalous in the sense that, you can never be proven one way or the other.
Right.
And people have analyzed the film backwards and forwards, experts saying that the gate could not be a human gate.
Right. They had anthropologists look at it and stuff.
Exactly. But to me, it just looks fake. It looks like something somebody made.
Looks like somebody in a suit.
Right. I mean, look at the Jack Link's beef jerky guy messing with Sasquatch.
Those look more realistic.
Look how realistic that looks compared to...
Yeah.
He's very, very. His fur is cropped tightly, like he had just gone to the barber. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just it's odd to me. It's interesting to look at, but we'll never really know the answer.
I think it's as you said. I think it's quite a coincidence that they set out to make a documentary about it and they catch it.
Right.
And in the and how long have smartphones been big? Maybe 12 years,
10 years
15
or so,
years in the last 10 years, and no one has yet to get video or even good pictures of a Sasquatch. How come that is? Everybody's got a friggin' cell phone on them all
every
the
time
time.
you see videos of any of this stuff, it's always grainy.
Yep.
It's like hiding behind a tree, and you never get.
Well, are you done with your portion on Bigfoot? Because I want to add something to the Bigfoot.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, in the past, and Jason and I think we've talked about this on the show before, we've had some experience in the paranormal world and hanging out with some of those folks. And we've actually had personal experiences and gone to, let's say, shows and conventions and things with similar people. And the Sasquatch portion of those people are really interesting folk. They call it squatching.
Yes.
They're going to go out squatching, and they go tramping around the woods looking for Bigfoot. Now, first of all, think about how ridiculous that is on the face of it. You're actually going into the woods unarmed and looking for something that could rip you in half if it did exist without thinking. It seems pretty stupid to me.
But here's the thing, too. Since we don't know anything about them, we don't know anything about their habits.
Where they right.
We don't know anything about what would attract them or not attract them to you.
Right.
What they sound like, what they look like, what they smell like. I mean, there's conjecture.
Yeah.
There's ideas, but we don't really know. So you go out there just randomly trying to hunt this creature
I think
down.
it's an excuse because some of the folks that we've seen, they down a case of Keystone Ice before going out there. So I'm sure they see some things.
Right. And there's a related creature supposedly that lives in the swamps of Florida. It's called the skunk ape, and it's supposedly like a smaller version of the Bigfoot, and it lives in the swamps of Florida.
Yeah. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that there is a large primate that exists in the woods that we just might not know about.
Right.
Maybe they're really endangered. You don't know that there's that many. We find primates all over the world.
That's right.
So, that's what I think.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Anyway,
You got something to say?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, all right.
So for the next portion of the program, we're gonna go back in time for a minute.
Time traveling.
As you know, I enjoy history. You enjoy history.
Love it.
There's a lot of unknown history that we learn, when doing research for this show, which is why I like doing it.
Yes.
Because you learn new things every day.
That's right.
We're gonna go back to 1764.
1764. Before we were even a nation.
That's correct. 1764 in France. So we're going to use our French accent.
Les Français.
I'm not going to read the whole thing with a French accent because everyone will turn it off. But I will throw in a word or two in French.
Okay, that works.
So, 1764 France. There were many forests and dark areas of the map that were left largely unexplored, as today, but even more so in the 1760s.
And many dark and unexplored areas of the lady's French armpit back in 1764.
And it was one of these areas named Gévaudan, where a vicious monster prowled the countryside and claimed dozens, if not hundreds, of victims.
Oh.
Some say this creature is responsible for upwards of 300 deaths during a 3-year period. That's a lot.
That's a lot of deaths.
300. Yikes. So Gévaudan is a region in southern France in modern-day Lozère.
Ooh.
You can say it like Lozère.
In there.
It had a reputation of being remote and isolated backwater back then, when the forces of nature had not been fully tamed. Where the forests were indeed enchanted, says J.M. Smith, a historian, and author of the book Monsters of the Gévaudan, which I bet he's an expert if he wrote a book about the monsters.
Yeah, you gotta know what you're talking about.
So France has always been full of legends, and it's also a land with many culinary delights. You like French food?
I mean, what would be considered a French food? I don't know. French bread? I like French bread.
They're very famous for their desserts.
Oh, like crème brûlée.
Yeah. And mustard. French's mustard.
Oh, mustard.
French's
or
mustard.
Moutard is how you say it in French.
Moutarde.
Yeah.
No, that's Arabic, I think. Anyway, so in the 1760s, there was a lot of isolated villages, individual farmers and small villages and whatnots, especially in this area of France. So one fine day, I imagine it was a fine day, I wasn't there, 1764, a young peasant girl was out tending her cows.
What was her name?
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
was out tending her cows when a large creature attacked her, but was driven away by the cows. So the cows protected her for some reason. And then probably not so much by the young peasant girl, but the cows scared her away. So the girl testified that the creature looked like a large wolf-like creature with reddish fur, small ears, a dog-like head, and a long tail. Sounds a little weird, right? But sounds maybe like a wolf, right? Maybe like a large wolf.
Could be a crazed, strange wolf.
Yeah. So a few days later, a 14-year-old girl whose name we do know, named Jean Boulet.
Jean Boulet?
Jean Boulet.
That's a woman?
Yeah. Jean. J-A-N-N-E.
Jane.
Jean was out tending her animals when she was killed by something. We assume she was killed and eaten because they didn't find a body. They just found her bonnet and her clogs.
Oh, my God.
So it didn't eat her bonnet or her clogs. Throughout the summer...
It had a keen fashion sense. It didn't like them.
Throughout the summer, numerous other attacks, many of them fatal, occurred in the area, mostly against young people or women who were working alone. The attacks were terrifying because often the head and the neck of the victims were the most damaged parts of the body, and in some cases the throats were torn out or the heads were missing, suggesting that the beast was purposely targeting this region of the body with an unsettling intelligence and purpose. People began to wonder if this was a dumb animal or a very intelligent predator. It actually could be either at this point. Some even suggested that the beast was actually a man, a sex-crazed serial killer dressed as a wolf. That's pretty scary.
It's possible.
The townsfolk began to send out hunting parties, thinking that they might be dealing with a very large wolf or a group of wolves, but the attacks continued despite them, going out there and looking for it.
Sure.
One group of people searching for the beast came under attack by it, and several of the men swore that they shot at it and they hit the thing with multiple musket shots, but it didn't fall. It just ran away. So King Louis XV, King Louis, King Louis,
Yeah.
hears about this and the dozens of dead folk, so he sends out some professional wolf hunters. They're going to go out there and they're going to get it.
How do you say wolf hunter in French?
Wolf hunter!
I bet you it's something cool sounding.
It does sound cool, I bet. So despite killing several wolves and several sightings of this actual beast that they were looking for, none of the hunters were able to kill it.
Okay.
Eyewitnesses state that it looked like a hybrid creature, not unlike a bear or a large hyena mixed with a predatory cat with spotted fur and a red stripe on its back.
Wow.
What does that sound like to you?
Something unknown.
So now the king is pissed, right?
Yeah.
Because he sent out his professional wolf hunters. They weren't able to get it. So he sends out his best man, his personal gun bearer, which I don't know what that carried his gun around for him or something. Francois Antoine was his name. So he gets to Gévaudan and he kills a bunch of wolves, but not the creature. He even put, this was actually pretty funny, he put dummies filled with human blood out.
Oh.
That was poisoned. So he poisoned human blood.
That's pretty
and he
good.
put it in dummies, and he left them all around trying to get the thing to eat it. But it didn't work. Plus, we're not sure where he got the blood anyways. Where do you get a whole bunch of human blood from? I don't know. Finally, 1765, Antoine kills a very large gray wolf, almost 6 feet long, weighing 130 pounds, which is huge for a wolf of the time. So Antoine thinks he killed the creature. He returns to Versailles. You know Versailles?
Oh, yes, the Palace of Versailles.
He returns to Versailles with it. They mount it. They mounted it on the wall.
Oh, they put it on the wall. They didn't actually.
They
didn't mount it.
And that he's given a royal pension, and he could probably lay with any maiden he wishes. Probably, something like that, right? And all was right with the world for about a month. Then the attack started again. So the townsfolk get pissed themselves, and they send out a hunting party of 300 men, including an old guy named Jean Chastel. He's out walking around. Well, old Jean, who's a farmer by trade, is walking around, and he hears a large creature coming through the forest. So he climbs up a tree, and he sees this huge creature enter the clearing before him, below him. Chastel took aim and shot at it. Bang! See that?
Whoa.
With sound
with his
effects
musket.
on the show. That's right. And he missed. He missed it. You know, back in those days, you didn't just shoot and miss. You were screwed at that point.
That's right.
Because you got to reload. So it starts charging at him. So finally, Jean Chastel, he rapidly reloads his musket, shoots at it again, and kills it. Shot it right between the eyes. Killed it.
Hey, quickly, I have my friend Francois on the line.
Yeah?
He's going to tell me how to say wolf hunter in French. Hey, Francois, how do you say wolf hunter in French?
Chasseur de loup.
Ah.
Chasseur de loup.
That's right. And as you can tell, Francois sounds a little effeminate.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Well, you know, French people.
He's French.
So anyway, so Jean Chastel's up at his tree. He shoots the thing. He missed it. He reloads rapidly, kills it. Boom. Goes down.
Yep.
So the king wants to see it. Word gets out the creature's dead. King wants to see it. So he orders Jean Chastel to pack it up and bring it out to Versailles so he can look at it. But old Jean Chastel was kind of stupid in the fact that he didn't take any steps to preserve the creature at all. So it took a while to get places on carriage back in the day.
Yep.
So he put it on the side of his carriage, and he starts driving to Versailles at a very, very slow pace. Along the road, it rotted. The creature rotted, and it stunk up the place so bad that they had to pull over and burn it on the side of the road. Mm-hmm. So no one was ever actually able to examine the creature. No one in the king's service. But most accounts from witnesses say it was like a wolf, but a lot larger, very thick hide that was seemingly impervious to bullets.
Yes.
Interesting side note to this story. Jean Chastel was a religious man, as many people were back in the day, and continue to be to this day. He went to a priest before going out on the hunt and had himself blessed, as well as the homemade bullets that he had taken with him.
Oh.
These bullets were made out of silver, which gave rise to the legend of silver bullets killing werewolves.
There you go.
So it all goes back to Jean Chastel.
Oh, Jean is way ahead of his time.
So what do you think about that? You think it was probably just a big wolf or a group of wolves?
More than likely, it was probably some, because wolves generally don't have reddish fur.
No.
So you can imagine a 150-pound wolf with reddish fur,
kind of scary,
and strange eyes coming at you, going on a kill crazy rampage.
Maybe it was like a mutant wolf or some sort of offshoot.
It could be. And it's funny you say that because I saw an interesting science program not too long ago where there was a hunter. You can actually hunt polar bear in the Arctic.
Really?
There's places where you can hunt polar bear. They
didn't know that.
You obviously it's limited what you can do.
You better be careful. Those things they'll eat
but
your face
you have to shoot a polar bear. You can't shoot any other bear. It's very, very the rules are very strict about this.
What do you mean?
So if you're going out hunting polar bear, you couldn't shoot a grizzly bear.
You could only hunt a certain type of bear.
Exactly.
I got it.
So a gentleman goes out with his Inuit guide, and they see in the distance what appears to be a polar bear. It's a big white bear in the distance, and so the guy takes aim and he shoots it and he kills it. And he goes down, and as they get closer, they examine the bear and they realize that it's unlike any other bear that they had ever seen before. So when they bring it back to the town, and now it has to be verified that it's a polar bear,
right.
and now the people that are supposed to verify it are skeptical that it's a polar bear because it looks odd. It has strange characteristics, and I don't want to get into all the characteristics, but you'll understand what I'm saying here in a second.
Okay.
So they're gonna fry this guy big time because they said he shot something that he wasn't supposed to.
Right.
So this big whole case went on, an investigation, and they did DNA testing, and they tested on the animal. Come to find out, it was a naturally occurring hybrid bear that was half polar bear, half grizzly bear.
Really?
Because they never thought that polar bears and grizzly bears would, number one, mate,
right.
and number two, be even in the same area at the same time, because generally they inhabit different areas of the continent. It turns out that they did find packs of migrating polar bears or bears in general that would come together. These two different types of bears
come together,
and they do mate on occasion. And then they have these hybrid bears. So it was a hybrid polar bear grizzly bear.
Interesting,
pretty wild. So
that's pretty vicious, man. He's lucky he killed it because it probably would have killed him.
Yeah, I mean he didn't get in trouble because it had enough polar bear DNA to be considered a polar bear, so he got to keep the bear.
This brings up an interesting point. People ask me, you and I are we have experience in the military and in law enforcement and guns and lots of. So people ask me from time to time if I'm a hunter, and I tell them I'm not a hunter. I've never hunted in my life. I have no desire to hunt.
Sure,
it's just doesn't seem like something that I would enjoy doing. I don't have a problem with hunters if they are hunting to eat the meat, or that's just part of what they do, or I don't know. I think hunting for sport is probably stupid. It's pretty stupid.
Yeah, I would have to hold the same position with you. I mean, you can't just go out and. Oh, speaking of animals that are just about dead, white rhino, the last white rhino on Earth, is very ill, and it's soon to perish, and there'll be no more white rhinos.
If there's only one, then how's it going to be anymore?
Exactly. So that was because of all poachers, and poachers who are obviously don't think too far into the future. They're like, oh, we'll just keep hunting these creatures until they don't exist anymore.
They say
doesn't make sense.
But I also have read statistics that 99.9% of all species that have ever been on the Earth are extinct. So things go extinct all the time with no help from us.
No, that's true.
So, because something's extinct doesn't necessarily mean it's that bad.
Well, but in some cases, obviously, men have.
Why can't spiders go extinct? I hate spiders.
Well, you know what though? Spiders, as creepy and as deadly they can be, they have their place in the food chain, if you will.
Oh yeah, what about mosquitoes? What service do they have besides bother me?
They bite you, don't they?
You know what? Believe it or not, I've read studies that there are people who have sweeter blood than others, and or whatever the case, they're more attractive.
Like pheromones that the mosquitoes are attracted to.
And I am one of them because they absolutely terrorize me. And my wife can be outside, butt ass naked.
Oh,
not that we ever
maybe that's
do
the problem,
but and not be attacked by anything. And maybe she's just naturally repellent from bugs.
I see. All right, so I'm going to jump into the next cryptid on the list.
All right,
and this is similar to the Bigfoot because it's an ape-like bipedal creature, and I'm sure you've heard of it.
Maybe.
It's called the Yeti.
Oh.
Also known as the abominable snowman. Yeah. And it's very similar, like I said, to the Bigfoot. However, it is said to reside in the Himalayan region of Nepal and Tibet. And the name is Tibetan in origin and means rocky place man-bear who poop in woods and throw snowballs.
That's a lot. When you hear foreign languages like that, sometimes one small word can mean so many things.
That's right. So Yeti, that's what it means.
Interesting.
So the creature has been seen in the higher elevations, and critics say that it's just a misidentification of other local animals. But we know of other local animals, mountain goats and yaks and all kinds of things that live around that particular area. So, however, there have been a number of eyewitness sightings as well as some physical evidence to include footprints, hair samples, and famously a Yeti scalp, which if you look online,
I have not seen the Yeti
you
scalp.
can see the Yeti scalp. It actually looks more like a...
Did he have dandruff?
It looks more like a bad toupee that, say, Liberace would wear, but supposedly it's the scalp of a creature.
Good morning.
And so it lives out there. It lives in the Himalayas, climbs up and down the mountains. We've all seen the pictures of it.
Well, my question to you is this.
Sure.
My follow-up question. You just said that the mountain gorilla was heretofore unknown.
That's correct.
So how could this... Maybe this is something similar.
Well, it could very well be. And, there aren't a lot of people that inhabit the higher altitudes of the Himalayan regions.
Nepal. All they have is these stupid Nepalese coins.
Except for the Sherpa who go up and down the mountains like
Those
crazy.
Sherpa are some tough people, man. I'll tell you what.
So when I went to Disney World, there's a ride there. It's called Expedition Everest.
I've not been on that ride.
And it's quite the roller coaster. And, they have a fake or a facsimile of the Mount Everest itself. And there's a big Yeti in there and things of that sort. But as you're waiting in the long-ass line to get to the ride...
Yeah.
They actually have some interesting factoids about, Mount Everest and the people that have climbed it and the different routes that they've taken. And there's one Sherpa that's been up and down the mountain like 20 times.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
So that's
story.
the Yeti.
Okay. Are we at the halfway point of
the
show?
We are. Yeah. So we're gonna get into our next sponsor. So just give you a little background. So it's a business called Chauncey's Chili Bowl, and they're out of Louisiana.
Oh, Chauncey.
And I thought it was an interesting concept, and I'll let the commercial speak for itself. But Mr. Chauncey called me up because he's a fan of the program.
Big fan.
Many listeners down around
swamp country,
down around Bayou, down there in Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana.
And he said, "Hey, I know that you're a nationwide, a worldwide program, if you
phenomenon,
will, and people love you, and we want to get our sponsorship for our business out there. So we're gonna play his commercial, and 100% produced by Chauncey and by the TheEoNProject. So here we go."
Chili bowl, dip it right in my chili. Dip it right in my chili bowl. Dip it right in my chili. Dip it right in my chili bowl. Dip it right in my chili. Dip it right in my chili bowl. Dip it right in my chili.
Do you like chili? Do you like fondue? Do you like dipping edibles on a stick? Do you like strawberries? Do you like gummy bears? Do you like Spam? Do you like sardines? Do you like anything else you can skewer and dip? Come on down to Chauncey's Chili Bowl. It's where tasty beef and bean delight meets fondue. We have the best chili in La Force Parish, Louisiana. And if you don't like our plethora of dipping choices, then bring your own. And for a limited time, buy 1 pound of dipping-sized gator bites and get the second pound 23 cents off. Remember, Chauncey's Chili Bowl, where you can dip and sip yourself silly all day and all night for just $6.99. All right, let's get funky now.
Dip it right in my chili bowl. Dip it right in my chili. Dip it right in my chili bowl. Dip it right in my chili. Dip it right in my chili bowl. dip it right in my chili. Dip it right in my chili bowl. Dip it right in my chili.
Oh, what'd you think of that?
That was pretty good, man.
You like that?
Sounds delicious. For $6.99, you can dip whatever you got into the chili.
You know those the lovely 2-part harmony going on there. That's
Is that Chauncey himself?
Nope, that's Chauncey's two kids, his son and daughter, Merle and Josine.
Merle and Josine.
They did that, and they wrote that themselves.
Oh yeah?
And
who would have thought?
It was so good they just kept singing it over and over and over again.
They couldn't find a way to break into the word.
But now it's going to be stuck in your head, and you're going to have to go see Chauncey. And he's franchising out his business as well, so we might try to put some up here in the Northeast.
Well, chili is not a Louisiana. It would be gumbo if it was in Louisiana.
Well, Chauncey's not native to Louisiana. That's why.
He's not.
No.
Oh, where's he from?
He's from Saskatoon.
Oh, Saskatoon.
Yeah, he just made his way down there at some point in his
life.
life.
Well, thanks for being a sponsor of the show, Chauncey.
That's right. So we're going to get into a quick trivia contest.
We're going to do trivia.
We're going to do it before the break, but I got sidetracked by the Yeti.
Oh.
And, sometimes he takes me by surprise. So Mike embarrasses me quite a few times here on the program doing trivia.
Yes.
I'm not going to embarrass him
I don't know.
too bad, but he's pretty good.
Stupid.
So let me ask you this. So, Mike, are you you would consider yourself a fan of music? You like rock and roll?
I like music, yeah. I mean, I'm not as knowledgeable as some.
You like the Beatles?
I do like the Beatles.
The Beatles have a lot of catchy tunes.
Yes.
A lot of people know the words to the Beatles songs.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the lyrics to a particular Beatles song.
Oh, Lord.
And you have to tell me the title of the song. And you get bonus points for giving the year and the album.
I'm not going to know any of that.
You're not going to know any of this? It's not that hard.
I'm going to look ridiculous.
All right, so here's the first one. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm gonna just speak it like spoken word.
Speak it like spoken word.
Yellow matted custard, dripping from a dead dog's eye. Krabalaka fishwife, pornographic priestess. Boy, you've been a naughty girl. You let your knickers down.
I have no idea.
You don't know?
I have no
How about if I sing it? Would you know it then?
Maybe, try it.
No, I won't sing it.
No.
So that's I Am the Walrus.
Oh, that's from their psychedelic era.
Yeah, so that was 1967. That was Magical Mystery Tour.
Okay.
All right, so you're 0 for 1.
0 for 1.
All right, here we go.
There we go.
Okay. I told a girl that my prospects were good, and she said, baby, it's understood. Working for peanuts is all very fine, but I can show you a better time. Oh, that one might be tough for you.
What?
That one's probably hard.
Dude, they're all hard. I don't know.
All right, let's Drive My Car. That's 1965.
Baby, you can drive my car.
Yes. I can't give you the chorus. You'd get it.
Oh.
That was the Rubber Soul album.
Rubber Soul.
Oh, this one's easy.
Okay.
You'll get this one.
All right.
Father Mackenzie writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near. Look at him working, darning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care?
That's Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah, good job.
From the Rubber Soul album.
No,
Revolver.
Yellow Submarine.
Yellow Submarine.
1966.
I didn't know the album.
Now, that was a good one.
I like that song.
Nice
That's a
job.
good song.
All right, here you go. If you drive a car, I'll tax the street. If you drive to sit, I'll tax your seat. If you get too cold, I'll tax the heat. If you take a walk, I'll tax your feet.
That's the Tax Man.
That's right.
But I don't remember the album.
That's Revolver, 1966, and that was a George Harrison song. He wrote that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty easy when you say you're gonna tax everything. It's the Tax Man.
All right, so you got 2 out of those.
Two out of 4.
All right, here we go. Standing by a parking meter when I caught a glimpse of Rita, filling in a ticket in her little white book. In a cap, she looked much older, and the bag across her shoulder made her look like a military man.
That's
It gave it away.
No, I know. I don't. Is the title of the song "Lovely Rita Meet a Maid"?
Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
I sing it just
1967.
just
Sergeant
like
Pepper's.
John sings.
Good job.
Thank you.
You know, you started out slow, but you're picking up the
Yeah,
pace.
here we go.
All right.
How many more are there?
Just 2. All right, and a bonus one.
Okay.
When I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide, where I stop and I turn and I go for a ride, till I get to the bottom and I see you again. Yeah, hey.
I don't know, man.
Oh, that's Helter Skelter,
Oh, well, I know the song, but I don't know
1968, the White Album.
Helter Skelter.
Yep. Oh, here's another one.
Okay.
Sweet Loretta Martin thought she was a woman, but she was another man. All the girls around her say she's got it coming, but she gets it while she can.
That's Get Back.
That's right.
I know. I love that song.
1970, Let It Be.
Performed on the rooftop of Apple Records.
That's correct.
Very famously. One of the. You know what? That's one of the only times I've actually seen video of the Beatles playing live. Was that
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they did it early on in their career, but later on they didn't do much.
they
of it.
didn't do very much live performances.
All right, so here's a bonus.
Okay.
Here's a bonus track for you. Ready?
Yep.
Sie liebt dich, ja, ja, ja. Sie liebt dich, ja, ja, ja. Sie liebt dich, ja, 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 yeah. Du glaubst, sie liebt nur mich. Gestern hat ich sie gelassen. Sie denkt ja nur an dich. Und du solltest zu ihr gehen. Oh, ja, sie liebt dich. Genre kann es gar nicht sein. Ja, sie liebt dich. Und da solltest du dich freuen.
That's Minuet in G by Anatol Slazlowski.
No, that's a 1964 German recording by the Beatles of "She Loves You, Yeah, Yeah, Yeah."
Oh, well, you threw me off by saying it in German.
But they sing it in German because they were doing a lot of record. They were in
They
Germany
were in
at
Germany,
the time.
yeah, they were very big in
Hamburg.
Germany, yes.
And they recorded some songs in German, and that was one of them.
You know what I heard? I heard that John Lennon was actually a bisexual man who had many affairs with men.
I've heard that as well.
Which is,
and
you know,
it all
it-
started in Germany.
And it was very taboo at the time. It wouldn't be a big deal, you know, today, but back then it was a big deal.
That's right. So,
So let me move on to
you want to
something
talk about
else.
our other sponsor before
So-
we get into the next thing, or do you
Yes,
want to?
no,
okay.
I'm going to talk about our other sponsor.
Okay.
Do you like alcoholic beverages?
I love alcoholic
I know that
beverages,
you do.
as evidenced by the whiskey bottles behind me, the empty ones.
Don't you like delicious confectionaries as well?
I do on occasion.
Wouldn't you like to combine the tasty nature of your favorite alcoholic beverage with a delicious confectionery?
Sounds good to me.
So we're going to talk about a friend of the show, a lady named Jen out of Red Oak, Texas,
Yes.
which is a beautiful little town. I've been there many times. AddictedRumballs.com. Check her out. She's been baking up delicious rum balls, rum cakes, whiskey balls, and other goodies for several years now. And she's poised on the precipice of greatness, about to have her business explode. So I want you to what
So just to clarify, this is an actual.
this is an actual
sponsor.
yes, this is an actual
Okay.
not
Well,
sponsor. She's a friend.
we're giving
of
her
the
a
show.
plug.
We're
Okay.
giving her a plug.
Yep.
So my friend Jen has been in the confectionery business for some time. She's, as I said, she's about to explode into popularity, and she knows that, you know, the wide ranging reach of this program, and we have fans all over the world and all over the country.
Yep.
And so she sent us a batch of these delicious balls. I know you like ball shaped foods.
I
and
do.
you love having them in your mouth.
That's right.
So she sent us some, and and Jay hasn't had one yet. I've enjoyed these before, so I know what they taste like, and they're delicious.
Okay, so-
but I want you to enjoy one on the program.
That's right. I think we're both going to have one.
Yeah, we can both have one.
All right, so I'll get the little box here. It's a nice little white box,
Yep.
and it says Addicted, and it says liquor-infused desserts and confections.
That just sounds delicious.
And this is... Well, hold on a second. You got to clarify this for me.
Okay.
It says Addicted Rum Balls,
Yep.
but then underneath it says Spiced Whiskey.
Well, Addicted Rum Balls is the name of the company.
okay.
And so they
They
make
have
other
different
things.
ones. Ah, I see.
So this batch that we
This
have
is
here,
milk chocolate with the whiskey. All right, so
milk
let me,
chocolate with spiced
let
whiskey.
me let me open the box near the microphone. Here we go.
Doesn't that sound good?
Okay.
Oh my
and
god!
There's several balls in here.
I can't wait to
and
have
they're
one of those
wrapped.
balls.
They're
in my
wrapped
mouth.
in. Hold on, let me grab one. Hand it over to the mic.
I'm gonna get one
There
too.
you go.
There we go.
You got it.
I got one.
All right, hold on. I got to take the wrapper off.
Why don't you take a bite first?
Should I take a bite? Should
and
I
then
put the
while
whole
I
thing in,
talk-
or just take a little bite?
No, you gotta take a bite. You can't just
Okay.
no.
All right.
This is a work of art.
Okay, hold that. Oh.
Is it good?
Whoever thought you could combine chocolate and whiskey? Oh my God!
It's disturbing to hear you have with the ball in your mouth.
I'm gonna finish it. Go ahead.
That's really good.
I wonder what kind of whiskey that is.
I don't know. I'm gonna ask her.
Like a bourbon or a Scotch or a
I don't know.
Tennessee whiskey.
Whatever it is, I enjoy it.
You should find out for me. Mm-hmm. Oh, and it's got a little spice to it. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Not good.
wow.
Sorry about the delay. We're enjoying these delicious balls.
And there's a cake here too that we have, but we're not
We're
gonna
not gonna
eat that
do the
now.
cake today.
There's a little round cake thingy.
Well, anyway, if you take one thing away from this program, I want you to go to addictedrumballs.com. I want you to patronize Jen's business because she does ship. She shipped them to us, and they're just as delicious today as they were when they were packaged.
That's right.
Packaged with love and care. So she will ship. Patronize Jen and help out a very nice lady.
You know what this does for me though? It wets my whistle today to drink whiskey.
Yeah.
So as soon as the program is over, guess what I'm doing?
I don't know, but that was delicious. Thank you very much, Addicted Rumballs and Jen, for your
That's right.
for your package.
And it's 8 a.m. on a Sunday, so we know where I'm going from here.
Still good. All right, so we're moving on. Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk about a sea creature next. I said sea creature really loud, like high. That was high.
Yep, it was.
Okay. We're going to talk. What's more mysterious, Jason, to you than the deep ocean? Is there anything that's more suspicious and secretive?
I would say, well, on our own planet, no.
Mysterious.
I mean, outer space, obviously, but not on planet Earth.
For centuries, we've been amazed at what comes out of the deepest parts of the ocean, and much of the ocean has yet to be fully explored, as you know. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it stand to reason that some of Earth's greatest mysteries and mythical creatures would actually live just beyond what we can see?
Right.
Now listen to this. I hate sharks. Do you hate sharks? I hate sharks.
Listen to this before you go any further.
Nope. Okay.
I got to tell you this story.
Tell me
it's
the
a
story.
shark-related story, and I'm glad you said it.
Okay.
So you know me. I don't like the ocean either.
No, I don't like the
going in the
ocean.
ocean.
No.
So we're in Florida. We're on the
Yeah, you were just there.
We're in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yep.
Nice powdery white sand beaches. Crystal blue waters, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going to go in. But I said, you know what? I don't come to Florida very often. I'm going to go in the ocean. I'm going to suck it up and go in the ocean. So I go in about knee level.
Yep.
The kids go in. I look off to my right, and there's a young man and his father fishing off the shore. They cast it out into the ocean there.
Yep.
And I see him. He's reeling something in. He's reeling it in. I'm like, I wonder what he caught. He reeled in a shark 20 feet away from me.
Wow.
A little hammerhead shark.
What? A hammerhead?
Hammerhead shark.
That will eat you.
And I ran kicking and screaming out of the ocean.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was horrific.
Well, wait a minute. Did you get your kids out too? Did you leave them?
No, I got them out.
Oh, you didn't leave
We
them
went
in
over there. I said, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I've been catching sharks all day." I'm like, "I'm not going back in there."
You know what? That would make me leave
Oh God, it was crazy.
water. Well, real quick story. I was in Virginia Beach last year with a family.
I didn't mean to get so excited there, but
No, you were pretty
scared
excited.
me.
We're in Virginia Beach with a family. The kids were out in the surf, as you said. I don't go in the water, but I was watching diligently my children, and I saw these fins in the water, and actually swimming around into the high waves. You can see like outlines of things. And at first, I thought they're sharks, and I told my kids to get out of the water.
You started screaming shark.
I didn't. I was discreet about it, but it turns out they were dolphins. And dolphins, I guess, habit those areas. And that once I found out they were dolphins, I figured it was okay for them to be in the water.
Sure.
I still don't like being in the water.
All right, go ahead. Tell
So
your
I hate
shark
sharks.
story.
I hate sharks. I'm afraid of sharks. I'm sure that they don't like me very much. So we all know that a great white shark is the ultimate sea predator, right?
Oh, we think.
Matter of reference. The average great white shark grows to be about between 22 and 25 feet. That would be about the max in length, which is huge.
Yeah.
Imagine a 25-foot long great white shark. That's huge. But in the ancient past, a super predator known as the megalodon was an immense shark that scientists estimate was around 50 feet in length, about the size of an 18-wheeler. Can you imagine that? Swimming around the ancient seas. So this would have been around the largest. This would have been about the largest sea predator in history, and probably scared the crap out of a bunch of old-timey fish everywhere. You know, the old-timey fish swimming around.
Oh yeah.
They'd be afraid of that thing swimming around. Scientists agree that the megalodon went extinct millions of years ago, or did it?
We don't know.
1981, off the coast of Australia. A lot of things happen in Australia. You ever notice that? It's like the Wild West out there. A group of fishermen encountered an enormous creature that surfaced just while they were pulling in their traps. These were experienced fishermen used to seeing all manner of sea life, and they saw this was a shark that they estimate was over 100 feet in length. The thing terrified the fishermen to the point where they wouldn't return to the area. So can you imagine seeing a 100-foot long shark?
Yes.
That's twice the size of a megalodon.
But was it a whale shark?
Well, we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
So these are experienced fishermen that supposedly are, they know what that stuff is.
They know what they're looking at.
Now, a whale shark, as you mentioned, is not a predator.
That's right.
It's a rather.
Well, I mean, it does eat.
Yeah, but it doesn't eat
plankton and
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't eat fish or people.
Yeah, sure.
It's scary looking.
Yeah,
but it would
gentle giants of the sea.
You can actually ride on one.
Oh.
I wouldn't do it, but in any case, for decades, and we're shifting from Australia. We're shifting again all the way down to the Baja Peninsula. You know where that is?
That's that little pointy thing that sticks out the bottom of California there.
That's right. For decades, the area between the coast of the Baja Peninsula, California, and the mainland Mexico is called the Sea of Cortez, has been home to stories about a jet black shark of megalodonic proportion. What makes the stories even scarier is that this beast is said to actively hunt people, attack boats, and actually jump out of the water to attack stuff.
Wow.
Some interesting evidence has come up over the years regarding the so-called Black Demon of the Sea of Cortez, including some high-altitude photography and even satellite images that look to show a massive sea creature. But there's not a good way to show scale using those. And, as you said, it could be a whale shark, or something that's not so scary. But for decades, people have reported this jet black, gigantic shark attacking people, boats, coming out of the water, flying through the air, like as in Sharknado.
Like a winged creature.
Yeah, and terrorizing everybody in the area.
Oh, my God.
So I don't know what it is. I actually did watch a documentary about this. It was on a few years ago on I think it was the History Channel or one of those. And they actually sent out some of the bravest or stupidest people I've ever seen in my life, divers, who were actually looking for this thing, swimming around.
That's a wise move.
Yeah, swimming around looking for it. They were not able to come up with any evidence, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's a very deep part of the ocean.
Right.
And if the thing is dark, you wouldn't see it, especially if it stays at depth. And if it's that big...
Well, if you know anything about the Architeuthis, which is the giant squid, which for many, many years was the subject of legend and myth
Yes.
they didn't think existed until now. They've some have washed up along the shore, some have been caught in fishermen's nets, and it's this gigantic squid. And I got to see one recently.
Really?
Going back
Those scare me.
Going back to Florida again, they had one at an aquarium down there, and it was in a giant tank of formaldehyde.
Don't they have like a beak, like a bird?
Yeah, well, the little mouth parts.
That's disgusting.
The octopus has
creepy,
the
man.
little beak thing too. But anyway, it was huge. No, it was gigantic, and they attack whales. They attack whales, and they'll even eat whales.
Well, let me ask you a question then.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a squid and an octopus? Because you would know.
Well, I mean, they're both invertebrates.
Yep.
They have a lot of similarities, but they're their own creature, their own distinct.
No, I know
creature.
that, but what is the difference? Is one of them bigger?
Well, they have giant octopuses as well, big octopuses. But the octopus has the big bulbous head.
Yes.
With the big eyes,
Much like an alien.
and the squid is more elongated.
Does a squid have one eye?
No,
I thought they had one eye, like one giant eye.
no, two eyes. They're two-eyed.
You know why I thought that? Because
Why?
I get my marine biology knowledge from watching Finding Nemo and Finding Dory.
The octopus is an interesting creature.
Yeah.
It's very smart.
It can camouflage itself, correct?
It can, and there was one case where they had this octopus that somehow it escaped its tank and figured out how to get out of its tank, go down into the pipes, and escape back to the ocean.
Did it do that?
It did.
That was on a movie.
Do you have anything else about the?
No, I just wanted to mention that the black demon of the Sea of Cortez is yet to be identified. As I said, I have seen some satellite pictures and some high level photography, and it just looks like a big shark, but you don't know how big it is. But I'm looking at a picture.
So I want to talk about, lastly, for me, on this interesting day, to say the least.
This has been a fun day so far.
Has been a fun day. We've done a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Is another waterborne cryptid, famously known as the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, yes.
And so we all know about the Loch Ness Monster. We've all seen the pictures. We've heard of it. And it's a creature said to inhabit the Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands.
Loch Ness.
The term that the monster first came into being was in 1933 by Alex Campbell. He used the term monster to describe this creature. And this was the birth of the modern Nessie phenomenon. Mm-hmm. And later that year, a gentleman by the name of George Spicer and his wife were motoring around the loch.
Guy's got a nice name, Spicer.
Back in 33, so I can only imagine what kind of vehicle they were in. Mm-hmm. And they saw what appeared to be a dragon of some kind.
Were they drinking scotch at the time?
Probably appear out of the water. And it's the little head came out and it started swimming around. Mm-hmm. And apparently the creature crossed the road in front of his vehicle. So back in 1933, of course, there were a number.
So it was an amphibian because it was
it was in the water, but then it was able to come out of the water, go across the roadway,
scary,
right in front of Mr. Spicer and his wife. Mm-hmm. And so there were a number of sightings that year in 1933. But in 1954, a fishing boat named the Rival 3 picked up a large anomaly on their radar. And the object kept pace with the boat at a depth of about 500 feet. So if you know anything about the Loch Ness...
Yeah, it's deep.
It's very deep, and it was formed by retreating glaciers back in the last ice age, carved a giant gouge in between the mountains, and then, of course, filled with water. So, but the most famous of the pictures that we've seen, the very first ones, were known as the surgeon's photos.
Yes.
And that was Robert Kenneth Wilson, and he was a London gynecologist who took the photo, and it was the famous picture of the head and neck.
Let me... Quick question.
Yeah.
If you're a gynecologist, do you not like having sex anymore?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Do you just yeah, I've seen it.
What do you mean?
Yeah, if you're a gynecologist.
Are you all right?
Do they look at porn?
What are you talking about?
What?
Is there something wrong with you?
Don't you think they get tired of looking?
He's a professional. He's a doctor.
They get tired of looking at it.
What do you...
Like a proctologist. Is he ugh.
What, so you're saying a mechanic? He gets tired of driving cars around? Of course
You know
not.
what? That's a good analogy. I stand corrected.
Yeah, see? Jeez, God.
Sorry,
Mine's in the gutter, fella.
Continue.
Well, just because you're a twisted individual. So anyway, apparently the famous doctor photographs were later produced to be a hoax. Apparently in 1938, there was a film of the creature, the first film. And in 1960, a gentleman by the name of Tim Dinsdale, that's hard to say.
Tim Dinsdale.
Tim Dinsdale.
They called him Timmy.
Filmed a hump crossing the water and had a wake, a big, powerful wake behind it. So it was a pretty interesting, compelling video, to say the least.
Now,
Yeah.
Loch Ness, and I'm not sure if you encountered this in your research, but isn't there a theory that Loch Ness actually connects to the ocean at some point? Like there's underground channels or very deep in the ground, so that you wouldn't know, because it appears to be locked off from the ocean.
It's supposed to be landlocked.
However,
Yes, but they don't know for
there's
sure.
a theory that there's a connector, and that's if there is something in there, it can go back and forth.
Because it's so deep and the water is so cold,
Right.
And it's vast
And murky.
and it's murky. So you really don't have a good. The scientists don't have a good full understanding of the bottom contours
How
of the
come
lake.
we don't explore the ocean and deep water as much as we explore space?
Because
Don't you think we
it's-
want to know more about our own planet before we start finding out about other
Well,
planets?
it's true, and people have done that, but it's difficult. It's not
Of
so
course,
easy.
it's difficult. I didn't say it was easy.
And you know who did it most recently? A famous person
Who?
went to the deepest part of the sea.
The Marianas Trench?
James Cameron,
Oh,
the filmmaker.
yes, I know James Cameron.
Yes, he embarked on a scientific endeavor. And they
swallowing
a
them.
scientific.
What the
It's
hell
the
are you doing?
rumballs, dude. They got me
Keep
wanting to
making
eat
weird,
more.
weird swallowing noises.
So anyway, they embarked on a quest to hit the deepest part of the sea and set a new record. Mm-hmm. And they did that. They put together this amazing submersible.
You didn't hear anything about it?
No, it was on. It was on a documentary.
Oh, I
It
didn't.
was interesting.
No. I was saying it wasn't widely broadcast.
Nope. Guess what they saw?
Nothing.
Not much of anything.
Because it's too deep.
But he went down. I'll give him credit, man. He went down there. He turned all the lights off.
He went himself?
Yes. It was a one-man submersible. He went right down to the
He's
bottom.
crazy. I wouldn't do that.
He's got a set on him. I'll tell you
Yeah, I
that.
wouldn't
Bigger
do
than these rumballs I
Wouldn't
just
do
ate.
any of
That's for
that.
sure.
Boy.
Interesting.
Boy. Well, anyway, so there's a lot of weird stuff out there. We still don't know quite what they are. We talked about some cryptids. We talked about Disney. We talked about, what else? We did some trivia.
Yep. And
Wait,
one last thing I want to mention too
Oh.
before we go. And it reminded me when I started singing "Sleep Dick" in German.
Sleep tick.
Right. So a loyal listener of the program, his name is Ron,
Hey, Ron.
and Mike and I have known Ron for many, many years.
Oh, yes, I remember Ron.
He's a childhood friend of ours, and he grew up and went on his separate ways. And
He has a very successful career in the military.
that's correct. He just recently retired, or is getting ready to retire as a higher enlisted person.
And wait, before you
Yes.
get into what you're going to say
Yes.
about Ron,
Yes.
I just want to tell you how smart I am.
Okay.
And this is because Ron and I, when we were children, used to play Axis and Allies. Remember Axis and Allies, the board
Yes.
game?
Yes.
Very, very famously. And I used to wipe the mat with the guy constantly. And he went on to have an outstanding career in the military. And my military career was very, very short and not as successful. But that just proves that I'm a tactical genius, that I was able to beat a real military man in Axis and Allies. Continue with your story.
That's right, but Ron, one of his duty stations was Germany, and he loved it so much there that he just is. I believe he's still there, and he loves it there. And we have a lot of German listeners because of Ron, so I appreciate that, Ron.
Yes, thanks, Ron.
But Ron wanted to convey a story because we were talking about. He messaged me, and we were talking about a few weeks ago. Mike and I had a job at Burger King, and so,
No. A few weeks ago, we did not have a job at
no,
Burger King.
no. But we talked about having a job.
We
at
talked
Burger King
about it, yes.
when we were teenagers.
We don't work at Burger King now.
When we were kids, we had that job there. And Ron, believe it or not, also worked there
Yeah, I remember that.
for a period of time. And he told me about a funny story that I didn't remember. But we had a manager there by the name of Carmine. I don't know if you remember Carmine.
I don't remember
It might have been
Carmine.
after you left.
It may have been.
But apparently Carmine, who seemed like a normal guy, and was relatively even-keeled for the most part. But Ron goes on to tell me, and I'm gonna quote Ron here. And he says, he uses an expletive, so I won't use it. He goes, Carmine flipped out when I put 2 swirls of mustard on a burger, and he started throwing food around the kitchen.
Wow.
So that's a no-no.
He was tightly wound.
It's 2 swirls of ketchup, 1 of mustard.
That's right.
And,
you don't want to overload the mustard.
You can't put too much mustard because you get in trouble. So Carmine freaked out. So I wanted to relay that story. Thank you, Ron.
That must have been after I left.
I got a good laugh out of that when he told me that.
Yeah. We used to have a Burger King manager. He used to sell videos out of the back of his car, out of his trunk.
You can get any kind of video you want.
Any kind of video.
You know what I'm saying.
Any kind of video. Anyway.
Yes.
So I think that just about does it for the episode today. But if you take something away from today, I want you to do your own research And if you have an interesting cryptid story of your own, please send it to us at TheEoNProject@yahoo.com. Also, we want you to patronize AddictedRumballs.com.
That's right.
And Jen and her wonderful liquor-infused confectionaries, which we enjoyed in the program. I feel better right now because I ate one.
I feel warm and toasty.
I feel delightful. They are the best.
As soon as you leave, I'm eating the rest of the Rumballs and that cake that's sitting over there on the shelf.
You're gonna wake up several hours later covered in sweat. Anyway.
All right.
So anyway, you won't hear from me for a couple of weeks, but hopefully Jay will be back on the air with perhaps a guest host.
That's exactly right. So we're going to try to keep the train rolling here, people. Just remember, the truth exists. Believe it.